Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And for using the Windows for like past 10 years, I'm finally decided to switch over to Mac. Why I'm actually switching over to Mac? Okay, firstly starting off, what Windows laptop I've been using. So for the last 5 years, I've been using this laptop, that is Predator. Acer Predator. So I got this, when I was doing I was in first year of my undergraduate. So that's when I got this laptop, and from there, all my Android Studio, learning Android Studio and everything, the journey started from there. And I absolutely loved this laptop because it had the right performance. And I I also got this laptop because it was a gaming laptop. That is why I got it, because I wanted to play some games. So that is why I got this laptop for gaming as well. And I absolutely loved the performance that I was having. And Android Studio was also able to perform really well on that, because before that I had just a normal laptop, and which had like 4 GB RAM. It was a Dell laptop, so the Android Studio was used to lag so much. And if I started an Android emulator on that Android Studio, it used to literally crash. Like my laptop Windows used to crash. So that is why one of the reason was getting this laptop. Now but from the past 1.5 years, I felt like this laptop, like I think it stands true for every Windows laptop I have noticed. Maybe because it's a gaming laptop, that is why the battery backup deteriorates so much. I had like multiple Windows laptops, right? So I have seen, like after 3 years, the battery doesn't last more than 2 hours. And this is the same for this laptop. So for the past 1.5 years, I have to always connect my this laptop to a charger to make it work. Otherwise, the battery just lasts for like around only 2 hours, maximum 2 hours. Otherwise, on the normal usage, or like moderate usage, it just lasts around like 1 hour 20 minutes or something. And if I run Android Studio or any Android emulator, it just runs for like 50 minutes. This was on i5 8th generation. And I upgraded. So I starting in starting I got an 8 GB RAM, but I upgraded it to 16 GB. Whenever I used to carry this to my university, I have to carry a charger, and I always have to look for the plug points if I'm working on anything. And I think one other thing was that this laptop started to heat so much. The last time that I was in India, I gave it to a service center to have the fans clean and everything, because I thought that will solve the issue, but it didn't solve the issue. So I was still getting the overheat issues and everything. So I tried everything, but it didn't work. And when I came, I went home during the summer vacation to my home back in India. And when I came back, I so something happened. What happened was, I was doing a research project, and I was working on my laptop, and suddenly my Windows got corrupted. And there's nothing. I'm using the original Windows that I had got. So it was nothing like I'm like using a pirated Windows or something like that. But it was nothing like that. So that is why I made a decision to switch over to Mac at that point, because I had some money left from my internship and something. So I made a decision to switch over to Mac, because I was so pissed, because I had done some work, and I had to redo that amount of work. Something was I already had like pushed my code to GitHub, so that in that sense I was safe a bit. But I had to redo all the installation of all the softwares that whatever I have done in Windows. And that is a huge amount of work. And I was so pissed, because I had some deadlines, and I was, yeah. So that is the decision I took. Like after 2 days, I ordered Mac. And yeah, uh, for when it got corrupted, I think I spent it like 12 hours fixing my computer. But then it was not fixed, so I had to install a new Windows and work for some time until I got my Mac. The most annoying thing, most of you guys will have noticed with Windows, is that Windows updates like every week or every 2 weeks there is a new update, and it's a huge update. Back now, I'll be talking about what exactly I got. So I actually got the MacBook M2. Now this is also so weird. Like when I got this MacBook, after 1 month, the MacBook 3 came into picture, and it was almost the same price as this. And I got the 13 inch. So this is the 13-inch MacBook M2. This is MacBook Pro. I just upgraded the RAM. I upgraded it to 16 GB RAM because I thought that will be necessary, because I saw some reviews online that was saying that if you want to run Android Studio, you need to have at least 16 GB of RAM. Like in 8 GB also it will be fine, but you cannot do proper multitasking because Android Studio takes a lot of RAM. So that is why I upgraded to 16 GB RAM. And yeah, so I actually got this during the student discount that was going around. I will leave the price at what price I actually got this MacBook M2 Pro. And yeah, so that is why I switched, and I just absolutely love the first thing that I love about this is the battery life, because it really, like if I'm even doing Android Studio and running that, it like takes like it has a battery backup of around 5 to 6 hours. So the performance is as good as my Predator laptop, and I think the performance might be better in some terms. So I'm not actually compared it, but I think the build times of whatever project I'm running on Android Studio is a bit faster. And so yeah, I absolutely love this, and I wanted to switch to Mac was because when I make mobile applications, I code it on Flutter. So in Flutter, I can run applications on iOS phones and on Android phones. So now when I used to do and code, I was not able to test my programs on and Mac or like iOS, because I have to need a Mac. I did figure out a way around that, was because through installing a virtual like VMware, and downloading an ISO file for the Mac version, and then installing that Mac version on my VMware on my Predator laptop. But it was absolutely worse, like because the performance was like so low. I think like for building a standard project in Android Studio, it used to take like half an hour. Uh, so it was not good. And so even at that time I used to test all my applications on iOS phone, because I cannot run iOS emulator on that particular VMware, because it used to absolutely crash the whole setup. So that is why I used to run on a physical device. And this is the iPhone 7 that I got from my brother-in-law, and I just gave it to a service center because the battery backup was not good for this. So I spent some money on this to get the battery fixed, but still this device is also now dead, and I am not able to use this. So that is why I again spent some money while I was getting MacBook, because I also got a gift card when I was purchasing the MacBook, like around $150 gift card. And so that is why I thought, let me get an iPhone as well to test my device, test my applications on iOS. So that is why I got a iPhone 15, and I have my device here. So yeah, this is the device that I got. Yeah, so that was the another reason of getting an iPhone as well, because I wanted to test my applications on a physical device. I could have just done it on iPhone 7, but that was not working anymore. So I thought, let me just spend some money and get an iPhone device as well, so I can test my applications on that. So yeah, that other than that, I'm testing my Android applications on this. I have this OnePlus 70 Pro, and I absolutely love this phone as well. And right now, although my primary phone is now iPhone 15, but I still carry the Android phone around, because a lot of applications I'm not able to install on iPhone, and that is why I carry my Android phone as well. So yeah, right now I'm using two phones, and one is Android and one is iPhone. And I don't think in any time in future, it will be like I'm just using iPhone, because a lot of times I see that some applications I will never be able to find in iOS, although that might change in the future. But right now that's not the case. So yeah, so that is why I've been using both of these devices, the iPhone and the Mac, for the past 3 months almost. And I just absolutely love the ecosystem of Apple, and how much for even for my, because when I'm working on my Mac, it's just doing my part of my coding works and everything. That were actually the major reasons that why I actually switched to Apple. Some of you guys have actually even reached out to me on Instagram asking which laptop should I get. So when coming in terms of compatibility, I still think on Windows most of the softwares are supported, and you don't have to struggle a lot to find a Windows compatibility version of some softwares. You can easily find that. But for Mac, you have to specifically get like the Apple chipset, whatever chipset that particular Mac has. You have to download it according to that. And sometimes you don't you are not able to find the softwares that are supported by that particular chipset. So it's a bit of hassle there, but other than that, I think Mac is very good in terms of even setting up the environment for development setup. It's like not that difficult. That's what I think. In Windows it's much more difficult to set up the environment, but in Mac it's easier. But even though if you are also if you are also a mobile application developer, I did notice one thing. Although the Mac doesn't overheat, I've never seen it overheating, but when I run an Android emulator, it is overheating. So I don't know, is it because of the M2 chip, or is it because of something else? So yeah, it could be because for iOS emulators it is fine. It doesn't overheat at all. Should you get a Mac or should you get Windows? It's actually depends on your use case. If you are you have a very limited use case, and you are just going to use some particular softwares, and if that softwares are available on Mac, I will absolutely say that definitely get an Apple. But if your budget is limited, and just get a Windows laptop as well. I think some Windows laptop, their performance is also very good, and you can just get that, and will be very good for the next 3-4 years. It will work amazing. So flexibility to run any type of softwares, I will say go for Windows. And yeah, that I think wraps up this video. And yeah, if you have any other doubts or anything else you wanted to share, then leave down in the comment section. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.